guys. It is me, Katie from Create Your Future, and I am here with Traci, one of our newest coaches, and she's going to show you today an awesome technique on how to finally claim your power and your specific person by understanding the concept of free will when it comes to everyone as you is pushed out. So Traci, I'm going to let you tell me the story that you just told me about how you worked with a client to really better understand this concept and have more peace in her power of manifesting. So tell me about it.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Traci. So the story that I'm sharing today is about a client who really understood the concept of everyone as you pushed out. And she was understanding it to a certain point. So she understood that her SP and really everyone is a reflection of her thoughts. And that felt really good to her. But as we were talking and I was explaining that they also don't have any free will in your experience, she started to get a little bit uncomfortable. Like I could see that she wasn't really taking it to that point. There was a certain point where she stopped believing that, they had free will and that they were a reflection of her thoughts. And so we were talking about that. And I was trying to first understand, well, why did that feel uncomfortable to her? And she explained that in some ways it felt a little bit less romantic, a little bit less loving if they had no free will to just kind of love her all on their own, right? And so we started talking about how I was explaining to her how if she says that my SP has no free will, that actually doesn't cause them to have free will. They've never had free will. They're always just reflecting her thoughts and her assumptions about them. And so I was explaining how that's just how it works, whether she actually claims that amount of power within herself or not. And then I was talking about how, if she claims that power and she starts to see them reflecting back all of her intentions and all of the wonderful things that she wants to see in them, it's not going to feel any less loving. It's not going to feel any less romantic and just amazing and special. And so that really helped her kind of, again, claim all of her power, kind of go all the way. Because what I find with my clients is if they don't claim that full power, then when they do start to see things reflected in their 3D that aren't exactly what they've been intending, sort of like some old reverberations or some old thoughts or habits of thinking or expectations about the SP, then that could cause them to spiral because they're then thinking, oh no, they're choosing to do this to me. They maybe don't want me. They maybe don't love me. But if you go all the way and you understand that everything is a reflection of you and that they're really not choosing on their own free will to do anything to you, then you can sort of ride that out a little bit easier. You can sort of understand that, no, it's not that they're not going to choose you. They're not going to ever choose anything other than what you want. And so it can really help them really ride out those old reflections that maybe are currently happening.
Yeah, because they're not just giving up their power every single time, right?
Yeah.
And it makes it easier to not react to things because we all know if you react, it just perpetuates it, right?
Yes.
Versus just looking out and being like you said, it's just a reverb of old thoughts and old assumptions, right? Because 100% of the time they are you pushed out.
Right.
It doesn't change. It doesn't change. And it's funny. I know I've experienced in the very beginning of learning all this, it's like I would conceptually get it and it would make sense. But then something would go down and all of a sudden it's like, well, nope, they're against me again and they're outside of me and I don't even know how this is happening. And it puts us in that victim state. And that's what Neville would call it. It's like we're worshiping two different gods in a way versus there's only one God of your reality and that's your awareness of being. That is you. And claiming that it gives you so much more power.
Exactly. And I was also explaining to her how you can either be a victim or you can be God of your reality, but you cannot be both.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you are kind of wavering back and forth, then that is going to limit the power that you have to create your reality. It's going to limit it because one day you're playing the victim role and then the other day you decide, no, I'm God of my reality, so it kind of limits your power. But if you sort of stay in that role of, no, I am God of my reality, I am focusing on only what I want, I am choosing to believe in only what I want, then you really will have so much more momentum and so much more power in creating what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. And what did you find when she was able to fully understand this concept? Like, what did you notice just about like working with her? What changed?
So I think, again, when we first started talking about it, she had the belief up to the point of saying, yeah, I know he's a reflection of my thoughts, but she wasn't able to go all the way to say he doesn't have free will. But when I explained that, whether you kind of feel okay saying that or not, that's already how it is. You're already creating him with your doubts and fears and hesitancies to, reflect those things back. So really, whether you go there and claim it or not, that's still how it is. He still has no free will. So I think really what shifted is kind of the way I explained it. She's very much an intuitive person, and she just could feel like, oh yeah, that resonates with me, that really that really makes a lot of sense with me. And it just kind of freed her up to kind of accept that concept. And also talking about how I think another thing was this perceived loss of like the romance and, all of that type of thing. When I explained, once you actually see this being reflected back to you, all the amazing things that you're affirming and all the amazing things that you're wanting, once you see that reflected back to you in the other person, you are not going to feel that perceived loss. You are not going to feel like it's less special or romantic or amazing. You are not going to feel that in that moment when it's happening. So I think that really helped her as well, because again, she really had this notion of like, oh no, it's less romantic this way,
Totally. And actually, no, like when you start to create these things with your SP and then they're doing it on the outside, yeah, at least for me, I'm so proud. I'm like, yeah, like that was a good creation. I like that one. And it always gets out, right? It always gets out pictured. Like your subconscious still finds a way to make it like special and surprising and really, really cool.
Yes. And she's seen that as well. Having these intentions, but also seeing when they show up, they're actually just somehow just even a little bit better than even what she had pictured, right?
Yeah.
And we've all kind of seen that with other things as well. I know I have in my own manifestations. It's always just somehow just a little bit more than what I had personally imagined.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like, that's the magic of it. So, obviously, if you are out there and you've been struggling with the idea of free will, like, do they have free will? Don't they have free will? I mean, they don't. They don't. And if you want more help with that, Traci is available for one-on-one coaching. He is a certified life coach and a law of attraction coach, and obviously she's doing. So if you are struggling with that, looking for ways to get in better contact with your SP, to really create what you actually want and still have the spontaneity and fun, she's available. So definitely look below and you can sign up for a session with her. It was so nice to have you, and just thank you for that wonderful story and for making it so much clearer for all of us, because I think we all forget sometimes that everyone is us pushed out all the time. It never stops.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much as well. This has been so fun.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone.